Lenny was awaiting his second-round match here in this T10 Celebrity Tournament, a sport of the mind, a place where strangers leave as friends. But I do want to remind you guys and gals and pals that when it comes to words, as a screenwriter, sometimes it seems like all you have is words, but I don't have words. I have sentiments. But if I were to narrow it down to one word, it would be class. It would be class. Because Lenny Wilkens was class personified in every sense of the word, every sense. He crossed over to the other side 6 nights ago, and I believe heaven gained an angel that we already knew was capable of flight while he was alive. Because he didn't have to wait to get to that place and knock on those pearly gates to gain those wings. He was that beautiful of a soul here on planet Earth, and he touched a lot of people. So with that, guys and gals and pals, I do want to give a little bit of energy here right now. So as I bring in our luminaries who are part of this tournament, part of the network, also a first-time guest here, who I'm very grateful to see backstage. We'll meet him. I'll meet him very soon here on screen. He knows how to communicate with dignitaries, the public, and even those that are unruly. He's in round 3 of this star-studded tournament, and many of you predict that he might win the entire thing. That prediction might stick. So let's welcome a Hall of Fame player and a friend. Last name Barry, first name Rick.
Yeah, I don't know how long and how much time you take to have to do all of those intros and all your rhyming and stuff. So, but yeah, it's great to see you. It's been a long time since we had a chance to speak. You know, just a great player. He's, one of the few people in the Hall of Fame, both as a player and as a coach.
Yes, sir.
Had a remarkable career in both areas, and I had the pleasure of playing. Well, I don't know how much of a pleasure it was playing against him, but occasionally in some All-Star games we got to play together. But he's a very special person. Forget the basketball. He's just a really good person.
He made an All-NBA team, and he was the 11th pick in an NBA draft that featured the likes of Michael Jordan, Keem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. So grab a snack or some din-din, because a conversation with him is always a win-win, as I welcome a talented, gracious, kind human being. Last name Willis, first name Kevin. Welcome, Kevin Willis.
Hey, Abby, how you doing? Hey, Rick.
How are you, sir?
Hey, Kevin. How are
you
you?
Guys?
Great to see you. Great to see you, my friend.
Likewise, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
With Coach Wilkens, he's going to be dearly missed. His family, beautiful wife. Condolences to the Wilkens family. And when Lenny came to Atlanta, it was like a breath of fresh air personally for me, because now we have a coach. Take nothing, give all respect to Mike Fratello and Bob Weiss and all those guys. Willis Reed. But as a head coach and Lenny coming in and understanding the mindset and the mentality of a player meant a lot to me.
We're about to greet a man, guys and gals, that shows us how to paint our souls like a beautiful Picasso as we look forward to today and tomorrow. So put your hands together for a kind, humble, legendary human being. Last name Davis, first name Antonio. Welcome, Mr. Davis.
What's going on, bro? This guy is amazing, man.
So are you.
Like, nobody can tell me nothing. There's no intro like that, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, there's nobody that does so much for retired players and does things so selflessly like you, and I'm glad you're on here with Mr. Kevin Willis and Mr. Rick Barry. Antonio as well. You played under Lenny Wilkens as a Toronto Raptor.
Yeah, man, and I have to echo those sentiments. Kevin said, first of all, condolences to his family.
Yes, sir.
And to our basketball family, man. It's always very tough getting some news like this. I was fortunate, man. That year that Lenny came in, there was just so many things you could have been distracted by. We were fighting through a lot of difficult things, but he had, like Kevin said, had a way of coming in and every single day giving us this sense of calmness and confidence and all that we needed to go out there every day, play and be our best. And just the stories that he shared, right? We keep talking about the history of the game, right? Like,
sure.
Like these guys, Rick alluded to it, like we didn't have nothing and you guys have all this stuff. And my thing is, I've always felt it was important to, like keep this train going. Like when I walked into the NBA, I wanted to be better when I left than when I got there, right? So what can I do to continue to help that?
He was one of Milwaukee's most popular players, like an Orange Julius at your favorite mall. He's a humble, smart, kind human being, as his heart is way bigger than 7 feet tall, so give it up to a friend, colleague, and great. Last name Mokeski, first name Paul. Welcome, Paul, to the show.
You're unbelievable, man. I swear, next I gotta get my tape recorder because I gotta tape it so I can just carry it with me. So I feel like my career was bigger than it was.
No, man, it's easy to compliment you guys.
I had joined as a free agent. You know, they had Mark Price and Brad Doherty and Hot Rod Williams and Lenny Wilkens and Mark Price and Larry Nance, all these guys, and I was just joining to kind of fit in and kind of feeling my way. But I don't think Coach Wilkens talked to me for the first month or 2 months of the season. he welcomed me and maybe
you made a joke with me on the phone the other day. You said you were wondering if you knew that you were on the team.
Yeah, no, I see Coach Wilkens over there reading the USA Today like we all used to do. And I said, Coach, you got a minute? He goes, yeah, Mo, sit down. I go, do you think I'm fitting in well and helping the team? Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing just what we asked you. And I said, Coach, do you like me? He goes, yeah, of course. You're a great guy. I said, but you haven't said anything to me in 2 months. That's just the kind of the guy he was.
Let me add one thing about
Please,
Lenny,
Rick.
where Lenny was, I think, unique, is that it was always said that great players will never make great coaches. And Lenny Wilkens was a great player who was a great coach. So, put that to rest. Whenever I heard, I said, that's such bullshit.
Is he a favorite, guys and gals, in this show, in this broadcast? Yes. So, guys and gals, remember that this man's mind and heart and soul never take a back seat. Put that in a tweet. So let's welcome a good friend and human being. Last name Babcock, first name Pete. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, Bobby, thank you very much. As always, you're incredible. It's great to see you guys. Kev, haven't seen you in a while.
What's up, buddy?
Hey,
How you doing?
you're looking good.
What was it like to work with Lenny behind the scenes? Because I think a lot of the fans out there, we see everything that the dynamic between the player and the coach. Not many people really think about the dynamic between the GM and the coach. What was it like working with Lenny behind the scenes in the NBA?
So often in NBA teams today, you've got these cliques that develop between the coaching staff and the front office staff.
Right.
They butt heads, and they almost become enemies in a sense, which is sad. Never happened with Lenny, not for 1 minute.
Wow.
We talked every day about things we were doing. A great example is when Kevin, when we traded you to Miami, Lenny and I talked for hours because we both loved you. We both thought you were like, you couldn't be a better teammate. Aside from your talent, just that your presence with the team, it was just so hard to pull the trigger. But business-wise, we thought we had to do it. And that was Lenny. That's how he was. He cared about every individual. When we hired Lenny, I knew up front it was the right fit because of everything Kev said. Is his demeanor, his experience spoke for itself. And we met in Chicago at a hotel at the airport. Right on the spot, I said, Lenny, the job's yours. We want to hire you. He said, well, I promised Elgin I would come out and meet with the Clippers.
Right.
Now, I had been with the Clippers previously, so I kiddingly said to him, I was half serious and half kidding. I said, I want you to do me a favor. Fly out to LA, keep your commitment, be sure you spend a lot of time with Donald Sterling. Okay? Because
I was actually waiting to hear how long Donald
once
Sterling
you do that, you won't be able to get back here fast enough to sign a contract, okay? And he kind of laughed, but later when he came back, he said, oh, you're right. You're so right. He said, it would not have been a good working situation for me.
Because, Rick, as you would know as well, I mean, in those days, unless you were maybe considered one of the greats, a lot of players had second jobs back then. I know our young audience can't believe that, but in Lenny's time, a lot of players did have second jobs.
Are you kidding me? My first contract, I was the second player picked in the draft, and they offered me $12,500, and I had to make the team.
Wow. Yeah.
There you go.
And I want to say this, and we may have time later, but I'm just
Please.
honored, man, to be on with these incredible gentlemen talking about such a great man.
Amen.
And I wouldn't spend my Saturday no other way, and
Thank you.
that film, that tribute you just showed, really touched my heart. We've in this job that I have, and constantly, some of the news that we get when we get it, and our legends pass away, it's like a small piece of our history is just kind of, leaving.
Think about this. You're 5 years old. Your father passes away suddenly when you're a preschooler. I mean, that's already hard in of itself. But then all of a sudden you have to start working at the age of 7. That's when Lenny first started working, at the age of 7. And when I talked about his first job, when it occurred when he was 7 years old delivering groceries, when I mentioned this to him, he said that in his spare time he played basketball with youth leagues in Brooklyn, but never once saw himself as a professional player. And I asked him why. He didn't say because I wouldn't receive the opportunities or people would give me a shot because of the color of my skin. He didn't say that. He said because my goal was simply to feed my family. That was my goal. My goal was to take care of my mom. My goal was to take care of my siblings. I wasn't thinking about pro basketball. Again, over these last few years, speaking to him on the phone regularly, about once a week, once every 10 days, the conversations would go everywhere, but he was always class personified. My question for you is, can you provide an example for our viewing audience? What made Lenny such a class act as a human being?
When we traveled, we wanted the best hotels. When he first got there, I remember we had these YMCA lockers, and he came in and said, "What is this? We're gonna tear this out of here. It's about making the team feel special and feel like we care about them." And so everything you do, everywhere you go, everything that you represent in this Atlanta Hawk uniform,
sure,
has to be on this certain level. And that's what Lenny was about, and I loved him for that.
Thinking in college,
when I first interviewed him, Avi, one of the first we talked about coaching philosophy. One of the things that stuck with me was that he talked about, in his calm manner, how his philosophy was treat all the players with respect, and treat them as professionals. And he expected you to come and do your job every day. He was going to come and do his job every day. He wasn't going to yell and scream. That wasn't how he operated as a human being. He respected the players. He expected them to show up and do their job every day. And that his strength as a coach was coaching players who had that mentality.
If you could title Lenny's story, Lenny's life story, based on how you knew him, what would that title be and why?
Right, like he can whisper something at you, but you felt it. You know what I mean? So I started thinking about like this kind of gentle giant, this loud, this quiet, loud person. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I couldn't put those words together because they were such extreme in so many ways.
Can I ask you this, Antonio
my
and Pete?
Stuff, Antonio. Stop stealing my stuff. I got the perfect name.
What about this? How about our viewers, guys? Look at this one here, Rick.
To steal the title of a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it sometime, with John Wayne, The Quiet Man.
The Quiet Man. Quiet Man.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Listen to Antonio picking off of some of his thoughts. The compassionate basketball whisperer.
Oh, wow. Wow. Basketball whisperer, yeah. I like that. Yeah. Kevin, anything come to mind at all?
Oh, so much, man.
Sure.
You kept hearing me talk about how cool and collective he was, how whatnot, but calm storm.
Calm storm.
Calm storm.
Yeah.
He's calm with stuff, but when he wanted to get his point across, or if he wanted to get your attention, don't think he couldn't do it, because he could definitely do it. There's no question about that. And all the stuff that he learned and gained from other people, he harnessed all that and put it all together and said, now, when I coach, I'm going to pull from here, here, and here and create this amazing thing, which is Lenny Wilkens.
So well said. Wow. So in essence, being able to pay it back while paying it forward. So you take something from a Lenny Wilkens, and through his sage advice and coaching, being able to implement that as a current coach is the ultimate honor. What an honor that is. No question. If you could ask Lenny one more question, what question would that be and why? If you could ask Mr. Lenny Wilkens one final question, what would it be and why?
What would be like I know he's seen so many great players, right? Like, how does he define greatness? Is it the guy who's taking that last shot? Is it like who is it? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So,
And I always would ask any player this: what 4 players in the history of the game would you want as your teammates at the different positions?
Wow. That's a great question. That's a great question.
yeah.
Rick, who are your 4?
I was about to say, Rick, who would you say?
First of all, Wilt Chamberlain's my center.
Right.
Bill Russell's moving to power forward. I don't need him to score a freaking point. I defy anybody to think they're going to go in and dunk balls like they do today. And then I'm going to play the small forward.
Okay.
Probably the easiest one of the easiest ones for me to pick is I'm taking Michael Jordan as my 2 guard. And the most difficult one, I think, is the point guard position. If the 3-point shot is part of it, I have to play with Steph Curry.
All day.
Wow. The 3-point shot is a part of it, yeah. That's a great fight.
If the 3-point shot is not part of it, it's a very, very difficult decision between Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson. And here's the deal. I'd probably take Magic over Oscar only because I'd take him over Oscar because Oscar could get you 30 all the time. And Magic would rather get 20 assists. And I want to get a few shots with all.
You're being honest. You're being honest. I like that. If I had an all 50s team, I would go Maurice Stokes, who great tragedy there with Maurice Stokes. We know what happened to him. Maurice Stokes. I would have Bill Russell, who came in the league in 56, as either center or forward. I'd go with Elgin, who came in, of course, in 58. I would go with, I think I'd probably have to go with Heinsohn. And then for my 2 guard, I might go with Gus Johnson. 60s, Oscar and West, backcourt, probably Russell, Chamberlain, like you said, Chamberlain power forward. And by the way, I'm humble. I'm the least qualified person to pick this team. Let's say that right now. And Elgin Baylor would be the 3, even though he could play 4. And I mean, Elgin Baylor, military service on the weekends, and would still play in the NBA and drop 30, 40 points and grab 15 rebounds a game. So, I mean, I can't leave Elgin off that list.
Elgin was my boyhood hero in basketball.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Elgin?
John Wooden was asked when he was coaching at UCLA towards the end of his career. He said he was asked by somebody, who is the greatest basketball team you've ever seen? You know what the answer was?
No.
The New York Renaissance.
Wow, yeah.
When Coach Wooden graduated from college, he played in a semi-pro industrial league, and the Renaissance was a traveling all-black team that would make up their own schedule, and so Coach Wooden got to play against them. And a guy named Robert Douglas was the owner of the team and the head coach. And Coach Wooden, and I got to keep in mind, Coach Wooden saying this years later. This isn't like 2 years later. Back when he's almost retiring from UCLA, he said the Renaissance were the most disciplined, well-coached, and talented team that he's ever seen in his life.
Wow.
And you can go back and there's stories about Red Auerbach when he's 16 years old as a high school player, heard about the Renaissance, took the train to Harlem
by himself,
bought a ticket to the Harlem Renaissance Ballroom. He was the only white person in the crowd, 16 years old, sits in the crowd. He wants to see the Renaissance play because he heard how good they were. He goes in the locker room afterwards, somehow gets in, introduced himself to Bobby Douglas, the coach, and asked him strategy questions. Bobby, you've heard this before, but
yeah.
And he said, "Coach, can I ask you a strategy question?" And Bobby Douglas says, "Yeah, go ahead." And he said, "Well, the first half you were beating that team by 20. You were blowing them out, playing man-to-man defense. You went to a zone in the second half. They came back and almost tied up the game. Why didn't you go back to your man-to-man defense?" And Bobby Douglas said, "Well, let me explain it to you. See, everybody sitting in this locker room? I have contracts with every one of them. I have to pay them. The way I pay them is by selling tickets. That's how we generate the income. If you notice, there was a packed house out there, right? if we won that game by 30, which we could have done, a lot of those fans aren't coming back because they weren't that entertained, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is we make up our own schedule, and it's not easy to find people to play against. I want that team to come back again. If we beat them by 4 or 5 points, they may think to themselves, "Hey, we got a chance to beat them if we beat them." Right?
Right.
They said, "There's no way that team's beating us," but they may think they can. If we beat them by 30, they may not schedule us again. So from a business perspective, and so they developed this bond that developed the rest of their lives. And Bobby Douglas was the one that helped Red get a scholarship to college.
Kevin, Antonio, I guess your all-time starting five alongside you.
You're talking about team. I'm taking Steph.
Right.
I'm taking Tim Duncan.
Right.
I'm taking MJ.
Yeah.
At my center, I'm going with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Sure.
And I think my small forward, I got to go with the human highlight film.
Dominique. Kevin, that's a great team. And you might go, man, how do I get this deep information? But didn't Olajuwon...
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me retry.
Okay.
Let me retry. I'm throwing Manu Ginobili in there.
Ginobili.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. Kevin, you may find this fascinating, some deep information here. Did Hakeem Olajuwon once grab you and say, man, you are so intense. You are intense. Right?
I was, when I was obviously younger, but Hakeem comes out, I see him coming out the tunnel, he comes out on the court, and he's laughing, smiling, he's talking and whatnot. And he says, Willis. I say, what's going on, man? He says, you got a minute? I say, yeah. He said, why do you always look so mean and look like you're unhappy? And I say, no, that's just my MO. Yeah. I'm getting myself ready. He said, all you got to do, man, is just be calm. It's just a game. He said, it's just a game.
Have fun.
Just a game. Have fun. Enjoy it. And just smile, man. And so I said, yeah, okay. And I still got this kind of look on my face.
Yeah.
Man. And I could not shake that for years.
Yeah, Willis was so making sure. Willis Reed, correct me if I'm wrong. Willis Reed at one point came on or grabbed you maybe and said, "Hey," he brought up something irrelevant to what was going on, but it made you take your mind off of that. Is that true?
Okay. We were playing. I got 3 fouls in about. Oh man, I got 2 quick fouls.
Yeah.
And still
like your favorite TV show or something like that. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get another quick one. And so now I'm furious at the referees.
Right.
And then I'm at the end of the bench. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want Gatorade. I don't want anything.
Right.
And so I go on the end of the bench and sit down. And I'm looking around. I'm furious. And I catch Willis leaning up in a chair looking down at me. He's sitting next to me. And he starts telling me about something that got nothing to do with that foul I did. Nothing to do with that. Anything. Nothing. But he had me in stitches, man. I was laughing so hard. And then he said, now when you go back out there, play your game.
Wow.
Relax and play your game.
Take your mind off that.
And from that point on, man, what Willis said to me and what Hakeem said to me, it sticks to me till this day.
Did you guys have a nice time tonight?
Great, Adam.
Thank you.
Always enjoyable. I've got to leave because happy wife, happy life.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my friend.
See you guys. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Rick.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
Appreciate you.
Kev need to stop saying he one of the strongest in the league, man. That's not true. That's not.
Who?
He's not. That's not true, Avi. That's not true. It's all inflated. He got them inflated muscles.
But wait, Antonio, Kevin's got muscles in places people don't have places.
We were in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And so they want to have. We're getting tested for who's in shape. So
Sure.
we have this test called the beat test. That's my first time I got there. Who won that? Who won it? Who won the beat test?
Antonio.
Who broke Doug Christie's record? Who won it? I did.
That's incredible stuff.
It's been some strong guys. I mean, especially that power forward.
Yeah.
Wes Unseld, right? One of the strongest?
Mm.
Yeah. But the strongest guy, I think, you got Oakley, you got AD,
Sure.
you got
Carmelo.
Barkley, You got Karl Malone. You got Otis Thorpe.
Sure.
You got Buck Williams.
Sure.
I mean,
Wow.
you got so many guys, man. Dawkins. I mean, you got so many guys at that power forward. But the strongest guy I've ever gone up to was Kermit Washington.
Oh,
Kermit Washington.
The strongest guy. He moved me like I was a broom.
Get out of here!
Wow.
Kermit Washington, man.
I'll give you a GM's perspective. If I was building a team, of my 5, because I love very intelligent players, guys with high basketball IQ. So my 5 would be Urban Johnson, Michael Jordan. That'd be my backcourt. Forwards would be Larry Bird, Bob Pettit, and my center would be probably the smartest man in basketball, Bill Russell. I just, again, I appreciate what you've put together tonight, Avi, for Lenny. He deserves it, obviously. We all had great experiences from him. He made our lives better by just knowing him and being involved with him. Both you guys, Antonio and Kev, you guys always represented the best of the game, and the fact that you're continuing to do so speaks to your character.
We're human beings with our own stories, and we could find some common bond, be it basketball or a good old-fashioned conversation to bring us together. That's what gets me going, and we had that tonight. And I didn't think about the next minute or the next hour. I thought about the exact second we were all locked in with one another, and that means so much to me. So with that, I use the word class to start the show, and I'll go full circle as I play this video to close out the show, which is all about Lenny. Class. And I don't think there's any other word. You know what? Actually, I stand corrected. There is one other word I want to bring up when it comes to Lenny Wilkens. He was class personified. But there's another word I think that epitomizes who Lenny Wilkens was and what he provided and what he gave to everyone that he knew. And that word is simply love. Thank you, gentlemen, and may the rest of your evenings be as beautiful as the evening you gave us. Have a great night.
Thanks,
guys.
All right, guys.
Man.
Great
Take
to
care.
see you.
And that man back there, he gave everybody he knew heaven on earth. So how fitting that right now, heaven gained an angel. And we gained a spirit that will live forevermore. I love you, Lenny Wilkens, and have a good night.